Everyone always talks about Ohio State's running an NFL-style defense.
I like to think that we're just running our Buckeye defense. I think that's what it is.
Right when I hit him, I turned around and I was like, oh my goodness, no. I was literally surrounded by flags.
I could go on here for a long time, but you're going to get the face of the franchise. You want somebody that's going to represent your franchise, your organization, and your family really with the highest of character, and that's exactly what, Caleb is.
When did the number 2 pencil start for Coach P?
Yeah, that's a good question.
At the end of the day, we're used to just being in dogfights, and we still got that. We still got that mentality to just go after it and compete each and every game. And I think that showed that we have heart. So it's just a little different. I mean, they're like 6 hours ahead, maybe, or something like that. It might be more than that. It's 6 or 7. 6, 7. Nah, I'm playing.
Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tapping into episode 8 of Downs to Business. I'm Josh Downs, Colts wide receiver, with my brother Caleb Downs, Ohio State safety. In a few minutes, we'll be joined by a great coach, the defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, Patricia. But first, we're going to talk NFL and college and get into that. But again, I'd like to shout out all the people that just keep liking and subscribing on all the platforms. You're much appreciated, and we're just excited to keep growing with y'all, man. Keep doing it for us and keep showing us love. First, let's talk some ball about college, and let's talk about this good Buckeyes win. Caleb, coming into the season, Penn State game, even for me, that was a huge game that I knew was going to be big for y'all. It always is. But of course, things happen over there, and they kind of simmered down a little bit. But again, y'all still got to take them just as serious. What was the mindset going into that game, and how serious was Coach on y'all to just take them completely serious because they are Penn State?
I feel like every week he kind of ups it. Like at the intensity level, he kind of forces himself to up it. But we knew they had talent. We knew that they had the ability to play with us and everything like that. They're a good team. They have the players to play at a high level. They had some unfortunate things happen at the beginning of the season, and they were kind of down with that. But at the end of the day, they were going to come out and put up a fight. And I think we came out and played well, and we had to make adjustments and then went from there.
Nah, facts. Y'all did make some adjustments. Let's obviously everybody gonna want to know about that targeting call. So, I know you was joyful when they said no targeting, just an unnecessary roughness. And then you gotta pick a couple plays later, so everything works out how it's supposed to be. So I guess what were the true emotions?
Right when I hit him, I turned around and I was like, oh my goodness, no. I was like, they gonna get me. And then the flags and everything, I was literally surrounded by flags. I think there was like 4 flags on the field. I was like, all right, it is what it is. I just started walking to the side and I was like, I guess I'm out for the game. And then at some point they started to review it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever happens, that's what happens. It's in God's hands now, and that's what I try to do in every situation that's kind of out of my control. And then I was asking the ref, I was like, hey, like, let me know as soon as possible. Like, as soon as you know, let me know. And then right before the head ref got up and said what he said, the dude was like, you're good. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And then he was like, no targeting, unnecessary roughness. And I was joyous in that moment.
Hey,
it made sense in the end. God gave me a play.
Facts. Gotta take it. I'm glad you got that pick though. I mean, it's been a minute since y'all been back at the shoe. 12 big noon kickoff. Urban was there. Brutus zip lining through the stadium. What was the environment like over there? And I mean, how happy were y'all to be back home?
I think everybody was really excited. We didn't get to see the zip lining until after the game, and I was like, is this real? Like, I thought it was like AR or something. But they were like, yeah, they were doing that. Coach Meyer was there. And then the stuff that they were doing, like on the Jumbotron and everything during the game was you could tell everybody was excited to be there, especially for like a blackout that they called it. So it was great.
How do you feel about, I mean, quarterback still balling? I mean, how do you feel about him getting his Heisman recognition and even Saban talking about him on College Game Day? How does it feel to, I mean, is he still just cool, calm, and collected like he was on the show, or is he starting to break his shell a little bit?
Nah, he's been cool, calm, and collected. He ain't been saying much. As usual, he just being himself, and I feel like, I mean, that's what got you here. That's what you got to keep doing. But 20 of 23, kind of unheard of. He threw for like 316 or something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, he was out there playing ball. So
Nah, facts. And then y'all got off to a hot start. I mean, 89-yard drive, 6 for 6, 71 yards, big touchdown to Jeremiah Smith. I mean, as a defense, if y'all had to play him, would you double him out the gate or let the game play out a little bit and then double him as it goes?
um, I mean, we say it during practice, like you can't lose the four. So uh, got to do whatever it takes to stop him. But I mean, it's going to cause his own troubles because then you got Cardinal on the other side of the field. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to
it's
you
going to be
like
tough.
people like expect y'all to double him. It's like I mean, you can, but you still got 17 that can make big plays as well. So it's like
Exactly.
you really got to play it straight up in a sense, or play just cover two. But then that gives up the run game. So
And if you
it's
got a quarterback that can
dice it up.
cut
Then
through
that
the
ain't gonna work.
zones, it's kind of it's kind of
That ain't
difficult.
gonna work. Yeah, and
And
then
you got
and
guys like
then
Bi and Max. I mean, they're gonna make their plays too. So
I'm about to say he got in the mix early too. I mean, I guess like I mean, it's good to see him get involved as well. Like, how do you said he's like a team leader guy? Like, do y'all get extra energized when he gets in there?
right, literally, he caught that ball across the middle, and Jermaine's like, "Yeah, go Bi." I'm like, "Oh!"
Yeah,
Like everybody was so just so happy to see it. And I mean, he's a player, and he's gonna make his plays too. He just, I mean, it's crazy. He just got two dudes
yeah.
playing with him.
Just got two juggernauts playing next to him. I feel it.
It's kind of different.
Yeah. Let's talk about run game. Bo Jackson, he's coming along really well. How important is it that that run game just stays on schedule and just is always there? Because if you take a random run game, you make a team one dimensional. It's hard to pass, no matter how good of people you got out there at wideout. Um, are you like I don't know who's doing good at running back right now besides Bo Jackson, and like what do I mean? Just how excited are you see the youngin come on and just keep balling?
I think they all bring different styles of run games. I mean, Bo's definitely like that burst that he has is kind of crazy, and it's exciting to watch him play. But the other freshman we have, Isaiah West, he got a crazy dead. Like I can't cap, he be making people
Yeah,
miss. But then James Peebles and CJ Donaldson, they make their plays too. CJ's played big in the red area and short yardage, done a lot of good things, and James continued to work, and he's gonna put his head down and do what he does. So I mean, I'm excited to see how they continue to grow throughout the rest of the season.
mm-hmm. No, that'd be good. I mean, you need the run game. It's really important. I mean, you can see how we play. You need that run game. But y'all gave up 14 in the first half. Obviously, like there was a turnover that put them in great position. But what was the atmosphere in the locker room? Were y'all pissed off, or were y'all just like, hey man, let's fix this and get going, and then pitch a shutout in the second half? So what were the adjustments like? How was the camaraderie in the locker room? How did that go?
It was really just us focus on us doing our job. At the end of the day, like, yeah, we gave up a drive, but if you looked at it, it was literally just us not executing what we were supposed to execute. So
Yeah.
if we do that, which is what we came out and did in the second half, if you execute and do what you're supposed to do and get off the field, it's kind of get back to where we're supposed to be. I mean, we were put in an unfortunate situation, but can't. I mean, we got to make a stop. So and
Yeah.
take credit for what happened, and then go out and change it.
Support for Downs to Business comes from Google. Got a tough question, short question, long question, or 10 questions in one? With AI mode in Google search, you can ask whatever's on your mind and get AI-powered responses that give you everything you need to know. No matter your question, just ask Google. Caleb, I want to touch on two things from this past weekend that fans were talking about a lot. Arch Manning threw for 300 plus pass yards this weekend, 3 scores, and beat a good Vanderbilt team. And Texas is 7-2 now. Y'all beat them first game of the season, but for a while people were trying to say they was overrated. But I mean, they sitting at 7-2 now. They still got playoff hopes. Are you surprised how they've been able to turn it around?
Not at all. I mean, I expected them kind of to bounce back from everything at the beginning of the season, and I mean, they have good players. They have a lot of people that still believe in them, and their team probably believes in them too. So, I mean, I'm excited for them. Hopefully, they do well. I mean, it's better for us if they do well, and then we'll see them later on.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I thought they was a good team when y'all played them, and then yeah, I mean they dropped one more, but I mean they 7-2 now, so they definitely still. And
I really didn't know they were 7-2.
nah,
They
facts. It
solid.
seems like they were worse because everybody was always complaining, but I mean, not they still good. They're still in a great spot. And the second thing is Oklahoma's kicker. Would you ever wear some pants like that?
I can't cap. Those look like practice pants, like that you wear on like a Monday or Tuesday when the coaches aren't really worried about like wearing full pads and everything.
Yeah, they
So
call them
I would
cutoffs.
say, yeah, those are cutoffs. I mean, I'm not surprised by them, but wearing them on game day is kind of it's questionable. It's questionable
No, it
for
is.
sure.
Now it's time to dive into what fans have been searching for over the past weekend. Presented by Google. Caleb, searches for best college football uniform saw 5,000% spike. Who do you think has the best college unis?
I mean, O State got great uniforms and all, but I mean, I'm definitely giving it to Oregon. They got the most variety, change it up every week. I mean, that's kind of unrivaled
No, I can agree with that. They've been on that since we were kids. All right,
since since I can remember they've had it going on.
Caleb. Besides Oregon, who has some really good uniforms in college football? Who has the best, excluding Oregon?
I mean, I'm gonna give it to your alma mater. I like the Carolina blue.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's up there for sure. The colorways that'd be tough. You?
yeah. If we're basing it off color, I like Carolina. I like Tennessee. Um, I'm trying to think
Tennessee.
of who else. Not too many teams got too many uniforms. I like BYU's blue, that royal blue. I like that blue.
Yeah,
Miami got some
that Peachtree
solid
Ridge blue.
unis. Yeah, Miami got some solid unis. There was also a 5,000% spike in searches for best rushing defense in college football, and statistically, y'all aren't number one. To the surprise of a lot of people, the top 5 based off rush yards allowed per game are Texas Tech, Miami, Oklahoma, Texas, and then y'all. What's your response to that? To not being number one, but still in the top 5.
I really didn't know that we weren't number one. I would have assumed we were for sure, but I mean, we stopped the run at the highest level. I mean, last week they really came in here and tried to say that they were going to run the ball on us the whole game and ended up with like 50 rushing yards. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised by that too. I mean, I know Miami got a good defense, and a couple of those other teams in that list don't surprise me either. Last one, another search is undefeated college football teams. That's all a 1,200% spike. Georgia Tech and Navy lost this weekend, so there's only a couple of undefeated teams left. The Buckeyes, Texas A&M, BYU, and a team in y'all's own conference, the Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, can you explain to fans watching at home what the atmosphere would be like in the Big Ten championship game between you guys and Indiana Hoosiers? For me, it would be like a home game for them though, because they're literally only
Yeah, it would be like a
45
home
minutes away.
game.
But y'all are only 2 hours away, so it honestly wouldn't be too bad because Columbus is 2 hours from.
Nah, Columbus be traveling, no cap.
Yes.
But that's like Georgia and the SEC at the Big Ten. I mean, at the SEC championship. They play at home. They have a home field advantage every time because they play at the Mercedes. But I mean, not looking ahead or anything. I mean, that's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for it whenever if that time comes.
Yeah, sadly, wouldn't even be able to go to that game myself. They all like the Big Ten championship weekend. Last year we had a bye week, but this week we don't. So I'm assuming we're gonna be playing away somewhere. I don't know where, but that's what's probably
We
gonna happen.
sold last year, yeah.
But it ended up working out. Y'all won the Natty, and can't complain, man. Everything happens for a reason, so I guess that was just one of those things. Woke up a sleeping giant, so we good. We good. That was fan searches presented by Google. And remember that no matter what question comes next, you can just ask Google. Yeah, how important was that second half shutout y'all pitched when you got that? I mean, you got to pick in the end zone to kind of like seal that shutout. What was the little route combo they had? One of my homies sent me that talking about some what are they running, but it was a fade hitch. But you just
Like
fell back on
the
the
whole
fade.
game, they was trying to like go tempo and like at different situations. So it was like 4th and 7, like last play they had to score. So they were like, we're gonna go tempo. We're gonna just kind of try to catch them off guard. I mean, they ran a lot of just verts in the end zone. So I knew that they were gonna try to run some type of verticals that get in the end zone, and then it was just which one he decided to throw it to, and then you play with odds, and I mean, he threw it up. So
Great play. Go get it. Good book. It's 2 on a year.
Good
Got to
book.
keep getting them. Yeah, good book. And then I was watching that one Jeremiah Smith tutty, one hand
Bro,
deflection, one hander rebound kind of touchdown. That
literally,
was
that's
tough.
supposed to be 100 of 100 pick. No cap. If you
Dude,
looked at how many times if the player tips the ball and it's up in the air like that, that's like 90% interception. And he just,
facts.
I was like, oh.
No, he went dumb. So I don't know. How do y'all? What do y'all say to him? Like, obviously y'all are gonna glaze, but like, what do y'all say to him in situations like that? It's warranted glaze, but like, what do y'all say on the
he
sideline?
he came up to me after I caught the pick. It was like a play, da 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 da, and I was like, bro, what? Like, what was that? And
Yeah.
he was like, ball in the air. Like, I mean, at this point, when we see stuff like that, it's kind of just like, all right, it's kind of just like that's who he is. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
does. So, I mean, it's just I've never seen that type of play.
Yeah. So y'all got Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate, first round talent for sure. Jeremiah Smith, first round talent for sure. Are they in the conversation to be as good as a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson duo like they were at LSU?
I haven't even thought about that. Look, I think, uh, that's a tough one. I mean, like where Jamar and Justin are right now, and that's at an elite level. So
Yeah.
you got to just go based off of like college kind of. So I'm you can low key give the nod
To who?
to Jeremiah, like to Jeremiah Cardell.
No.
If they keep playing at
Not
the level they are, like
yeah.
at the end of the
Okay.
season though, I'm not talking about right
You
now.
can't give him a nod though. What
At
Justin
the end of the
Jefferson and
season,
Jamar
if they keep playing
what
the way they are,
what Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase did at LSU was insane. Caleb, Jamar had 1,720 tuds. Jettas had 1,518 tuds. Brought to you by Google. But I'm just gonna
brought to
say,
you by Google, man.
I'm just gonna say, I will lean. Of course, I'm gonna lean Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase because they're 1 and 2 in the league right now. So, but that duo y'all have is really special, and
I'm saying at the
you
end of
can
the
put it up
season,
there.
check it out. And yeah, end of the season, check it out.
Yeah. Okay. No, I will say, yeah. End of the season, they keep staying on this track. Yeah, they already like that, but
Right.
yeah, I feel you.
They just
But
run it by
you
me.
can't. Yeah, you're right. But you can't give them the nod yet. Not yet.
Nah, not yet. I'm saying like though at the end of the season, if they stay on the track that they are, it's a real conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. You mentioned Penn State got a lot of talent. What did you learn about your team? Battle in the first half, dominating in the second half.
I mean, people always like right now. People always talk about the adversity that you go through, and we didn't play the way that we wanted to the first half. We felt the game should have been there should have been a different score on that scoreboard at the end of the first half. So we felt some type of way about it, and just going back to the locker room and making the decision to go out there and play like we did in the second half. I mean, that shows growth and that shows maturity as a team, and I think it's cool to see how your team responds to situations. So I
Yeah.
was excited.
Next up, Boilermakers on the road. Can't go to that game. I'll be in Germany. But if I was home, I would go to that game. They played Michigan tough. What do you see
They
from them
did.
so far if you've watched them? And what do you think the mindset is for the Buckeyes this week?
I mean, the same as every week. Go out there and play with intensity, play with effort, go out there and dominate. They have a good passing attack. Their quarterback's playing at a high level, and their receivers are too. So, yeah, it'll be a challenge, and we got to go out and do what we're supposed to do as a defense. I haven't looked at what their air defense does at all, but I'm sure that's how the offense feels too. Just go out there and do what they got to do and dominate.
All right. Our 11 Warriors fan question of the week comes from user Creek Buck. What's your pregame routine? What kind of music are you vibing on? Any habits or superstitions you got?
I mean, like time of game kind of takes away some of it or some of it not, or gives more time for some of it. So usually wake up if I can, take a cold shower, just to get the body going or whatever, and then try to read my word in the morning. Do that every day, so game day can't be any different. And then from there, we got team meal, do whatever like that, and then I'll probably watch a couple videos, whether that's boxing, UFC, watching older safeties play, just to get in like a competitive mood, kind of.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then for the most part, I don't really listen to like much other than gospel. So bumping a bunch of gospel music. Might listen to a sermon every day. I listen to a sermon every game day, so that's a big thing for me. I watch a movie the night before, so whatever movie that is, that's kind of depends on the game. Enemy of the State was the movie this past week, so it was a W movie. And then from there, kind of just be calm as you can, ramp up to the game, and yeah.
Yes, Sirski. Great vibes.
Man, let's welcome in the man with the plan, with more than 25 years of coaching experience, 3 Super Bowls, OC, DC, head coach, GM, whatever you want to call him, has more experience than anybody in the world in football. An aeronautical engineer, a mental coach, and the architect of the #1 defense in the nation right now in college football. Matt Patricia. Appreciate you joining us, Coach.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. This is pretty special. So I love seeing you guys working together, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. First question for me, like, how'd you go from engineering to coaching football? What came into that decision?
I love this story.
Yeah, I played college football at a small school called RPI. I was an aeronautical engineer. I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I thought I was going to be Maverick from Top Gun. That was kind of where I was headed. But was lucky enough to play college football, and then I stayed a 5th year and I GA'd. I coached, so I played offense. I coached offense, and then got done with that first year. And my mom was kind of like, "Hey, you're not on scholarship anymore. You need to go to work now. You're kind of off the payroll." So I did engineering for like 2.5 years. It was great. I loved it, but I missed football. I was trying to help with high schools and things like that, but I really wanted to get back to being around college kids and influencing just 17 to 21-year-old young men. And that was a big time period for myself where I felt like my college coaches were really impactful, and that's kind of what I wanted to get back to. So at the time, I had a really good job offer with nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers, United States Navy, which was pretty cool. And I was driving home from the offer, and one of my old college coaches called and said, "I have a $5,000 a year defensive line job. What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I just quit everything, sold everything I had, and started coaching. So it's been unbelievable.
How did the fan take that when you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave this out there and I'm gonna go do a $5,000 a year job"?
Yeah, they were a little bit shocked. I think as a young engineer, I was making more money than my mom had teaching for 30 years. And when I was like, "Hey, $5,000 a year sounds really good," I think they were just kind of, "What are you doing? Like, what is going on?" So I went back and I finished my master's in coaching, and pretty quickly My family's very supportive, and they were at the games and, right back into it. So it was pretty cool. But just kind of started at the bottom and worked my way up. I actually got really lucky. I think at the time I entered coaching, computers and technology and really data, I think, was the biggest change, had just kind of come online. And that was my world. Like, I knew how to do those programs, and I knew kind of how to, design things to help us do analytics. And so I didn't know a lot about coaching, but I knew a lot about computers. So it was one of those deals where I was like, hey, teach me how to be a good coach, and I won't delete all this data that you need right now. And we'll work back and forth until I can, hang in there. So I got pretty lucky, but it was good.
When you first got here, I was like, let me learn the defense, da 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 da, and everybody was like, hey, he's focused on catapult and the computer systems and everything like that. And they were saying that you ended up changing a lot of stuff of our computers. So what was that like when you first got here, changing everything up?
Yeah, the system that we use, the catapult system, actually is one that I kind of helped change probably about 20 years ago when I got to the Patriots. So the setup and the data and the way that you can kind of pull information was something that I wanted to make sure that we were kind of maximizing the best we could. So trying to get every edge we can and take, look at the film and put the data with that, and make sure that we're giving you guys the best information we can, week in, week out. So it was a little bit of a learning process there, I think, for me to try to take the data that we had and then kind of, match it with where we wanted to go with it and the information so we could get it out and get the reports and all that stuff. But we were diving into the computer system, make sure that was ready to go. But I was doing that, and then obviously just watching you guys work out, and just trying to look and observe what you guys were doing and learn what everybody does really well and go from there.
So would you ever want to like get back involved in like all the engineering and computer stuff when in a couple of years, or do you want to just retire as a coach and just be done?
Yeah. People always ask me if I'm going to go back to engineering. I think that was so long ago for me. I'm not even sure. I probably forgot most of it. My engineering stint wasn't great. I think my first job was in thermodynamics, and I think I had to take that class twice in college. So I think coaching right now will probably stick with that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. All right, let's go back to this weekend. Fourth quarter, Caleb gets a targeting penalty, which everybody on my team was talking about it, and like I watched it, I was like, but what was your reaction? I guess like what was both y'all's reaction when it first got called, and like when they called it off? What was the reaction there?
Okay, from my perspective, the whole year people were throwing the ball in that same spot, and I was like, hey, like, no, I was like, no, not again. So then I see him coming, I was like, I seen the ball's a little high, and I was like, he might be able to catch it. I was like, I gotta hit him. And then at that point, you made a decision. It's too late to go back. So it's kind of just is what it is.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much, because, I mean, how many times have we sat in the meeting and I'm talking about the weak seam, and here we are in that same situation, and I was like, here comes the weak seam, and I think you saw it the same time I did. So we prevented a weak seam completion, and that was really good. After that, it wasn't up to us. So I'm glad it worked out.
No, it did work out. I was like, hey, we'll take it. And then they always say ball don't lie. So then he got a pick later in the drive. So obviously some was supposed to work out where it really wasn't a targeting. It kind of hit him with the side of his helmet too. So I was like, he didn't lead. He didn't lead with the crown
over here.
So I guess that's why.
But once we got a second shot, the ball was put back down. We got a little bit more aggressive there and had an opportunity to go get one. And you made a huge play for us and ended the game. So I knew you would. That was great. That worked out. I'll tell you this, though, Josh. I'll tell you, yesterday was really, I enjoy you guys and doing this. And I have two sons. They're 2 years apart. And, I love watching brothers work. But we were walking into our meeting yesterday. And just as we walked in, I think you scored your touchdown. And Caleb just looked at me and he's like, Josh Downs on the touchdown. I was like, all right, here we go. We're rolling, So I love how you guys keep tabs on each other. It was great. It was great.
We're in the meeting. He's like, all right, bring it up, everybody. He's like, he's starting the meeting. He's like, how's everybody doing? I'm like, oh, Josh Downs touchdown. Let's do it. He's like,
that's good.
He's
like,
oh, okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
it was great.
Yes, sir.
So.
All right. So everybody always talks about who gets a player shout out and everything like that. And we do that pretty much consistently. But who on the coaching staff do you think deserves a shout out? Is an unsung hero on the coaching staff for you, Coach P?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to start on the defensive staff. I mean, Coach Walton and I are pretty tight. We've been knowing each other a long time, and he handles so many things for us defensively. I think, I'm always going to start with Coach Walton for sure. I think that's my guy.
That's a good one. Is that the one that came to our house in recruiting or no?
Yeah, he was there that day, and Coach today was there.
And it was Eliano,
And then,
or yeah.
And then Eliano was there too.
That's a good
Coach
story for another time.
Coach Walt's a Georgia guy, so he's a Georgia guy that became a Buckeye, and he and I coached together at Syracuse about 25 years ago. So we go way back. He's had a great run. So I tried to get him. One time we tried to get back together and coach, but it didn't work out. So I'm super lucky that he and I are kind of going at it again.
All right, Coach, let's play a game. Got a lot of coaching experience of NFL and college, so I'm gonna name a couple guys on your team and just give me any pro comp that you've come across the past few years that you think they're similar to. All right, first name up, Caleb Downs.
Okay, right out the gate, Caleb Downs. I think I like to think about Caleb Downs as Troy Polamalu. Now Troy's got some good hair. Troy's got, he's.
Yeah, Caleb don't got that hair.
As far as being all over the field and being in a lot of different positions and being a smart football player, that's where I got to go. I mean, Troy Polamalu would line up in the A gap, even though he was the middle of the field safety. I mean, it was just wild the way that he would play. And you know what? He usually was right. Wherever he was usually right. And that's what I think.
Made it work.
Yeah. All right. Sonny Styles.
Ooh, Sonny. That's a good one too. It's hard with the linebackers here. They remind me of the guys that I've obviously coached in the past year. So we'll say Sonny Styles, and with his leadership and everything he does, Dante Hightower.
Okay,
that's a good pull. I wouldn't have thought. That's a good pull.
Let me do this one. So who are we comparing the monster to? Arvell Reese.
Yeah. He's going to probably be the guy right next to Hightower for most of those years. That would be Jamie Collins. Jamie was very similar, freak athlete, could play on and off. I think Jamie started as a safety, then he moved to a linebacker, then he moved to a defensive end, and then we moved him to linebacker. So kind of all over the field here in college, and then settled in at that linebacker position.
What about Caden Curry?
Yeah, Caden Curry, man, he's a good football player. This guy is just, old school. We call him a football player.
Different type of football player.
Yeah, he's out there running around. He sees everything. Super smart. Great motor. Aggressive. That's a tough one. It's hard not to just compare him to the guys that we've coached in the past that were at New England with us. He's kind of like Rob Ninkovich a little bit on the edge, kind of a little bit unassuming, but then kind of all over the field. Makes a lot of plays. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
All right, IGB. Last one on defense, IGB.
Ooh. Long, can run, really good instincts back there too. I loved how, Seattle, those corners used to play, went back and kind of in the 2014s, 13s, and certainly, Richard Sherman led the charge there. Just that ferocious competitiveness that he had. He was great. And
talk trash energy.
He could back it up, man. He was good, and you could not go over him. So I like how IG plays. That's what he reminds me of.
That's going. All right, now let's switch over to the other side of the ball. I guess Julian Sayin, he's young, but from what you've seen so far.
Yeah. Very efficient, really good leader, smart with the football. He's doing a good job of getting the ball out to those guys too. So maybe that's a young Drew Brees. Maybe that's where we're headed with it. Maybe
I was just
efficient.
I didn't even think of that.
I was about to say that. No matter what you said, I was gonna be like, "What about Drew Brees?" Hey. Yeah, you are smart, Coach. All right.
No.
All right. What about Jeremiah Smith?
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I compare guys to NFL guys with all compliments to those guys that have been in the league doing it for a long time. And I hope all of these kids line up just like those guys do. But Jeremiah in college, just the physical size and speed that he has, it does remind me a lot of AJ Brown. I mean, when you see AJ on the field, he is big, he's strong, he's fast, and just sometimes he makes ridiculous catches. So that's kind of who he reminds me of.
All right, last
All
one for
right,
me.
I'm
Last
gonna
one
add
for
one in
me.
there,
I was
Carnell.
about to say
I'm gonna
Carnell
add
too.
Carnell in there. Yeah, I'm gonna add Carnell in there. So what we doing?
With Carnell. It's tough too because I'm like, I go back to teams when I was at Philly with AJ and Smitty. That was a great combination right there, and
Smooth,
yeah, smooth,
long.
long, can run, makes those ridiculous down, like Smitty makes some ridiculous catches downfield,
Yeah,
and so does Carnell. So
I can see
I
that.
like that tandem.
I can see that. Yeah, that's actually a good. Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. I like that. So about last game, back to Penn State. First half, we had some stuff going on as a defense, and we had to figure that out. What are some of the adjustments that you saw that needed to be made in the second half that allowed us to come out and put a shutout in the second half?
I'll give you guys credit first and foremost, right? I think there was no panic on the sideline. We were trying to make adjustments. We had given up the one long drive. We were making some adjustments on the sideline. We kind of had to go running back out there a little bit earlier than we anticipated, and we just needed that halftime to kind of settle down, get back in the locker room, go back to some fundamental stuff that we did, and then put in some calls to kind of take away maybe some of the looks that the quarterback was trying to get and some of their game plan things that we figured out, like, hey, they're trying to get us in this front or this coverage, and we kind of spun it in a little bit of a different way for them. But when things happen like that, it's just the player's great ability to just stay calm and say, hey, if we just do this a little bit better, or we make these adjustments, we're going to be all right. And we needed that. It's funny. We talked earlier in the week about building our house on rock, and building on a solid foundation and weathering the storm. And we knew the storm was going to come at some point, and we needed a little bit of that in a game to be able to just see how we were going to react. And it was really so impressive.
Yeah, y'all been smoking folks all season. So not even trying to be funny. Y'all have been killing people. So it's been like the game was a little closer than I expected. But then you realize Penn State still has a lot of like great
We got
talent
the
on that
same
team.
talent level.
So then y'all handled business in that second half and ended up being a blowout. I mean, Caleb mentioned that you're like a mental coach for a lot of the guys. Caden McDonald said for him, you're that to him. So I mean, I feel like as a player, that's huge to have a coach. Like, it makes you want to play for a coach when you truly know like he cares more than just like X's and O's. Because you play for a coach like that, like if you don't, obviously you're not always gonna perform your best every single game. So if you have a coach that's only caring about X's and O's, you play bad, he giving you the cold shoulder. But to have a coach that's like you play good, like we perform at a high level most of the time, you have those maybe one game like you make a couple mistakes. To have a coach that might put his arm around your shoulder and say, "Hey, bro, shake it off. Like, get to the film room, get better, but I'm here with you." Like, I mean, do you take pride in that? And like, what does that come from?
Well, and I appreciate that. I appreciate, you saying that. I think in general, for me, it was just a big question over, the last couple of years of I got into coaching to really just help young men, help young men grow and develop and not only on the field, but off the field. I still am in contact with guys that I coached back in the 90s, and nothing makes me happier than watch those guys have success, have families, and everything that comes after football. Football is the greatest game in the entire world, but it only lasts for a certain while. And if you can impact people long term and be there for them long term, I think it's about the relationships, and that's the most important. And I think we spend so much time, training, the bodies for the game and the mind for the game. To me, it's also about the spirit. It's got to be mind, body, spirit, and it's not only spiritually being grounded, but then emotionally being ready to go too, and that's a big part of it. So these guys are great. I'm going to gloat, but the guys in that room just bring me so much joy when I walk in there every day. It's really the highlight of my day, so I can't help but smile and just think how hard they're working and how much I would just want to help them. And to watch them go out and play on Saturdays is just a lot of fun. So that's kind of how I approach it.
Oh yeah, that's big. Okay, my brother. Speaking of him, I mean, he says you're a great coach. What can you say about him and like his best attributes? And not saying he's coming out this season. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But if an NFL team drafts him in April, what would they get in a kid like him?
Yeah, I mean, don't make me absolutely jump out of my skin right now. If I think we'll get him back. Let's go. Let's get going. No,
Hey,
I
yeah,
think
facts.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about that.
I think I could go on here for a long time, but you're going to get the face of the franchise, and I think that's what's so important when you are trying to draft, after running a lot of drafts in the NFL for a long time, especially when you pick in those early round, you want somebody that's going to represent your franchise, your organization, and your family really with the highest of character. And that's exactly what, Caleb is. And obviously all of the football, the football traits and the instincts and the smarts and all that's off the charts, but just the football player's great. The person's even better. So, and that's who you want to be in your organization. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, nah. I mean, Caleb's very smart football player, very stoic kid. So I'm excited to see.
The Daily Stoic, man.
Stoic.
I'm excited to see what he.
Stoic.
I'm excited to see y'all. Get another natty. That's what I'm excited to see.
All right. Well, everyone always talks about Ohio State's running an NFL style defense and everything like that. I've had fans, had even Gus Johnson, like just people just ask me, what does that really mean? So what does that mean from Coach Patricia's perspective on the difference in our defense this year and running an NFL style defense?
I like to think that we're just running our Buckeye defense. I think that's what it is. I think it's the defense is what you guys make it. I told you before, it's not about scheme. It's not about the plays. It's about the players. And you guys are the ones that have allowed this defense to grow and really kind of be multiple and be what it is right now. So I think it's the Buckeyes defense. I guess for me, if people do ask about that, I just teach it like we did, just like in the NFL. I try to teach it from a conceptual standpoint where you're kind of the bigger picture and so that everyone understands, maybe the concepts of what we're trying to do so they can fit together in different ways. Maybe that's a little bit different than I think other coaches may coach, but, for me, it's the Buckeyes.
That's a good answer though, because you didn't get too much into the scheme. So I like that. Because
it's good.
They want you to get
You
into
can
the
go.
scheme. I'm like, no.
Go ask. You got Coach Anarumo with you, so you can go ask Lou.
Yeah.
Lou and I coached together a long time ago, and he runs some stuff very similar.
Oh yeah. I like Coach Lou. He a good dude.
Yeah,
Lou is a
he's
real good
great.
dude. So all right, how good was Brady in practice? Like how good was he in practice, and was he one of those? I assume he was, but was he just like laser focused and like team leader guy, like doing extra in early, out late? Was he one of those guys?
Yeah, Tom was one of the most competitive, and still is one of the most competitive guys I've ever been around, or that I've ever seen on the football field. It was interesting, obviously, through the course of the years we were at New England. When I got there, the defense had a lot of the dogs on the defensive side of the ball. My linebacker room had a bunch of them. We had some in the secondary, Rodney Harrison, and certainly Teddy Bruschi and Mike Vrabel, who's a Buckeye, and Junior Seau through the years, and Willie McGinnis, and all those guys. I think that toughness that we had early on, that kind of rubbed off on the offensive guys, and that competitiveness that we had every day in practice. I think Tom is the one that carried that over through all those years of just on the football field competing every single day. And it was offense, defense, man. We would compete hard against each other. And a lot of times ones versus ones, we'd be doing a 2-minute drive. And man, I remember one time, Tom, we were on a 2-minute drive and I'm obviously on the sideline, and we would, everyone would talk a little bit of trash to each other, and he took the snap, just stepped back, launched one up to Gronk, who's running down the sideline. He didn't, before the ball is even caught, he turns around and just looks at me and smiles like, I know this is about to be a touchdown. And it was just like, it hit, and he was that competitive like every day. It was a lot of fun.
So you bring up Gronk. I didn't know he was at the game this past weekend. What was the conversation like? Everybody saw you talking to him before the game, and how was it to see him?
Yeah, so good to see him. I mean, you spend all those years together, and when you know how it is when you're on a team, you see guys you haven't seen in a little bit. You love to get together and just give a big hug. And so I was excited when I knew he was coming to the game. I saw him walking across the field. He kind of came over, and we just caught up real quick. Asked me how the family was doing. He was talking about the defense, and it was very funny because he was talking about the backers, and he's like, "Man, it looks like the backers that we had at New England." And so I was laughing, and I was like, "Yeah, they kind of remind you of that." And then, we were just telling funny old stories. Rob used to post practice. My kids would be at practice. He'd have my son Dominic on his back. He'd be doing push-ups over on the sideline, trying to work out. And now my son is 14 and he's a lot bigger, and he was at the game. So just reminiscing, man. He's an unbelievable guy. He's a larger than life personality, but just a great person. So it's just so excited to see him.
Who's the best defensive player you ever coached, and who's the best offensive player you ever coached?
Yeah. You can take Tom out of the offensive side of the ball. I think, you gotta go with him as far as that's concerned. But, offensively also now, Randy Moss was unbelievable.
The things that had many conversations about Randy Moss.
The things that he would do in practice sometimes, he would make catches in practice. You were just like, how did he do that? Like, it was amazing. So I've been pretty lucky to see some amazing players on the offensive side of the ball. But Randy and Tom, those guys are up there for sure. Gronk, obviously, and some great offensive linemen that we've had through the years. Defensively is really hard for me because we've got a lot of great ones. I think they're all different. They've all greatness in different ways. Junior Seau obviously is one of the best linebackers to ever play the game, and to be around him was truly special. Teddy Bruschi was unbelievable. Mike Vrabel was unbelievable. Willie McGinnis, those guys, kind of my older head guys that were there, were certainly amazing. Vince Wilfork, you want to talk about a guy that could just dominate. He was incredible. So truly, had a run of some really good guys. And then my younger guys down to Gerard Mayo, Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, like all of those guys were just so much fun to be around. But Junior, certainly, he was pretty special. But those linebackers I had, it was pretty amazing through the years.
Okay. This kind of goes along with that question. If you had to say, if you were teaching your son, this is what a football player looks like and this is what exemplifies a football player, who would that player be for you?
Man, that's a good one. We always kind of talked about jerseys. We talk jerseys a lot, right? Because kids want jerseys. They want, they buy jerseys. And that kind of always was like, originally it was like, well, you'll always just wear like your name on the back of your jersey. Like that's kind of, what we talked about. And then, you meet Tom Brady, you meet Teddy Bruschi, you meet guys like Andre Tippett, who played at the Pats a long time ago, who's in the organization. You meet these incredible men that played in the NFL, and you say, okay, be like them, be like them. Those are the guys, those are the role models that, you want your kids to grow up like in that, in the sport.
Mm-hmm. All right. I got 2 questions for you. I don't even know how you can answer this though. All right, so it says 3rd down. 4th down, gotta have it. What is your best call? I don't really want to say that. Like,
I'm gonna have to make something up.
What? Yeah, you feel me? Like, what is your plan if you got, like, I feel like my team throws me the ball a lot on 3rd down, got it. Like situations like that, like. If you got a situation like that, but then you also got another, then you could have Jeremiah and Carnell out there. Are you a zone type of guy, or are you a man type of guy? Like, it's hard to ask you this without.
I can already answer that.
Like, it's hard to give it away because, I know a lot of DCs, they cover 0 all out. That's what a lot of people do. So I don't know. What's your philosophy in that situation?
Yeah, I think we're going to run all of it. Maybe we'll blitz you, maybe we'll drop a little bit, maybe we'll run some zone, maybe some man. I'm probably going to double you for sure. I'm going to take you out of the game, and it's probably going to be Coach Stetch. It's probably going to be something to the left-hand side of the defense that I'm going to have to eliminate right there. So, we're going to be high aware of that.
See, that's smart. I feel like a lot of coaches, like NFL, gotta have it 4th down. They all out 0. It's straight 0, which is smart though, because you don't give the quarterback any time to dice you up. If you go zone, you kind of forfeit he could drop back and pick you apart. But if you go all out 0, somebody coming off that edge free, somebody coming up the middle free, and once you get somebody up the middle free, it's really slow because he got back foot. So. That's a good answer for not giving up.
One of my great players I used to One of the great players I used to coach a long time ago, Keep Talib, used to say to me all the time, he'd be like, "Hey, Matty P, just dial it up. It's going to be 6 either way. We'll be all right." I was just like, "Can we just make sure it's 6 in our favor, please?" I'm like, I don't really want it to go in the other way. So
6 either way. Them or us, nah, definitely. That's a crazy
50-50, man. Let's play ball.
Yeah, he was usually in our favor though. If it involved him, we were probably okay. He was a great player.
So you got it on you right now. When did the number 2 pencil start for Coach P?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the story of the number 2 pencil, it's obviously, as an engineer, I've always used pencils, going back to college, because we did a lot of equations and kind of, just everything had to be done in pencil. But they were like mechanical pencils that we used, really nice ones. And then really through coaching, because we draw so many, plays and game plans and things like that, I drew in pencil, so we didn't have to, the whiteout and all the rest of it was hard. But when I got to New England, we broke tape. When I would break tape, I drew every single play, and they were called, takeoff pads. And when we used to break those down, it would take about 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours for me to break a game. I wasn't the fastest at it. It took me a long time. And so you always carried pencils. You were always drawing. You were always doing it, because if you're trying to break 4 or 5 games down a week and then practice and the rest of it, obviously there's not a lot of time for anything else. So if you had 10 minutes, you were drawing a play. If you had 15 minutes, you were drawing a play, whatever it was. So you carry pencils around, and they worked best because you could get the fine, really sharp point for the detail that you were putting into the drawings. And so we just carried pencils and drew. But the biggest thing about it was it's hard to figure out a good place to put a very sharp pencil, and your pocket is really not the place you want to put that. Okay, it's just not a good area of the body to put anything sharp. So it kind of just went right in the ear, where it could kind of be out of the way a little bit and kind of right wherever you could grab it. So that is the story of the pencil.
Which is harder to scheme, since you've been OC, DC? Is it harder to scheme on offense or harder to scheme on defense?
That's a good question.
It is too. It depends on the problems on the other side, right? So if you're game planning defensively against Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you're going to be up really late all night trying to figure that out. If you're, scheming up against a really good defense, whether it's pass rush or coverage, it might be, Myles Garrett, it might be, obviously Nick Bosa, you got some problems there. You're trying to figure out, how am I going to block this stuff up? Aaron Donald, he's going to keep you up late at night. So it depends on, kind of what the other side of the ball looks like. It's very different, though, to kind of game plan both sides. I think offensively, you have to try to figure out, are you going to get in what personnel is going to give you the best opportunity to predict what defense they're going to be in, right? So you're trying to eliminate the possibilities so you can really attack them defensively. You're trying to guess, all right, what personnel are they going to show up in, and how are they going to attack us, and then how are we going to defend it? So it's a little bit of a cat and mouse game, back and forth, but they both have their challenges for sure. I'm going to say defense right now because it's hard to cover all those offensive guys, man. We got a lot to stop.
We know you just got back to college and everything, but we talk about the business of football here. So what is your thoughts on the $180 million in buyouts right now for head coaches and the state of college football?
I mean, it's tough. In the professional side of coaching, it's it's rough. I think that I have a different take on it. I feel, I always feel for families and coaches that are let go. I think it affects a lot more people than just, when people say, hey, a name is, let go. Obviously, everyone has their reasons for it, and trying to do the best you can for those teams. But I always tend to think about the families that are involved and the people that have to move, and you have to find schools and the support staffs, and it just affects a lot of people. So I probably have more compassion for it, or more, just kind of feel for the people that are in that transition, and understand what that looks like, than maybe necessarily looking at the buyout money for it. It's really hard. It's hard to move your kids. It's hard to, the families. Yeah, the families feel it the most, and it's not only just the head coach, and then it's going to trickle down to the assistants and the support staff, and everybody's trying to find and move around. So that's kind of where my brain goes.
Do assistant coaches have buyouts or no? I never.
It's not really buyouts. I think just depends on the contracts, if they're, the length of them, if they're guaranteed or not. Certainly if you're at the end of your contract and something like that happens, it's a really tough situation, because the income stops. And also what happens is there's hiring cycles. And if you miss a hiring cycle, then the jobs are already gone. And you always have to plan as a coach, especially as a young coach. One of the things they tell you to do is, you have to plan like, hey, if you're out of work for 18 months, 16 months because you missed a hiring cycle, you have to be able to pay your bills. You have to be able to support your family. So you're always trying to save and make sure that, money is set aside in case that happens.
Yeah, I wish as players, like, it sounds crazy, but like they had player buyouts, like, because some people in the NFL is very cutthroat. You get cut in the middle of the season, like things like that, like, and none of our contracts, like, no, I mean there's some contracts that are fully guaranteed, but like if they had like, hey, like you played all right for us, but you're out of here, like we gotta pay you $3-4 million for the rest of the season, like take it and go. Like I kind of like. I feel like they could have something like that because it's like,
That would stop the in and outness.
yeah, it'd be.
That would
I mean,
give a
but
lot of power to the players.
it would, but it's also football is a different game than like baseball and basketball. Like, there's just so much stuff going on. Like it's hard to just keep the same squad the whole season because there's a lot of different injuries and a lot of different scenarios that go on. So I mean, I get it at the end of the day, but it's different.
Especially in the NFL. Like Coach P was talking about when he first got here, he was like, "Dang, I didn't know there was this many players on the team. Like, there's so many players in college, and it's different than the NFL because like that's why they had to go like it's really fast paced and everything like that, just because the fact that they don't have as many players." Okay, shifting off of coaches. Any thoughts on the state of NIL and everything that goes on NIL wise right now?
This has been a new world for me to learn and to be a part of. I wasn't, obviously the last time I was in college, they didn't have this. It's certainly, I think it's great for the players to, to have this opportunity. I think it's certainly, important for us to understand, kind of being able to get the players now a way to be financially, compensated. I think it's been really great. So I'm really still learning, trying to just, absorb and figure it all out as it kind of changes. But it's definitely, I think, changed some things in college football for sure. But for me, I just, I like to focus on the on-field stuff for, how that pans out. But I think it's, I think it's great. I think it's great for everybody.
Yeah, that's good. What you I mean, Coach Day is a great coach. What have you learned from him, I guess, and I mean, obviously he can learn some things from you as well, but what have you learned from him with your time with the Buckeyes so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I've known Coach Day for a long time, and to watch him from afar, and then really to see it up close in person, just the way that he leads, the way that he, the culture here that he's built it's really amazing, and to watch him influence, young men and really drive and push not only the team on the field but off the field. I think that's inspiring. I think he's done a great job of investing in everybody that's here, both from coaches to staff to players. He really just makes that atmosphere very welcoming, and there's a sign up in the back of the building. It says, you win with people. And he said it and I believe it too. You win with good people, and I think we have really good people here. And I think that's been really impressive, the way that he's been able to build the culture, both with the players and the staff.
We appreciate your time, Coach. And I mean, I got so much respect for you and much love for you at all times. So I appreciate you for hopping on today, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for
Appreciate
having me. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and I love that you guys are doing this. I love brothers working with each other, and it's a great example for me to show my kids too. And certainly, Caleb is, like I've told you many times, you're just such a joy to be around, and I'm just so blessed to to be lucky enough to be your coach here for a little while. So I'm gonna soak it all in as long as I can.
All right, it's time for Around the League, and sad day for me, Sunday. Sad day for the Colts. Yeah, it wasn't a great Sunday for me. But the game started off with a lot of promise. Alec Pierce had a great first drive and everything like that. How much confidence was it leading up to the game for the Colts and the locker room for you, Josh?
Yeah, no, I mean, we all the confidence. I mean, we know we're a great team. We went in there ready to go. Stadium was rocking. It was a great environment in there. They had the terrible towels going, so it was a great AFC game. They were a good team. We're a good team, so all the confidence was there, and we started off hot. So I mean, that's that's what I can say about that.
All right, so I return punts at some point, you return punts at some
Yeah.
points, but we both haven't really done it this year. So that was a crazy bounce that the ball took when I was watching it. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no.
Facts.
But literally I was in the trainer when it happened. I was like, no. And Brandon was there. He was like, I just seen it, bro. I was like, no. So what was the preparation for the week like when you learned that you had to do that, punt returns, and what was the thoughts going through your head?
Nah, just I mean, I knew after the game last week, one of our punt returner went down last week. He's coming back. I don't know if he's coming back this week, but he's working back. They had a lefty punter, so a little different. Coming off the lefty foot, different kind of spin. But yeah, I knew all week I was gonna return, just catching extra punts during the week and locking more into detail on that. So it wasn't anything I haven't been used to. I've done punt return for a couple of years now. Yeah, I mean the balance wasn't the best, but I got to make a better decision on catching it and not catching it. Should have just got away from it when I decided not to catch it, but I got caught in between two decisions. So yeah, ball definitely just kind of bounced up. It hit me. Should have been a little farther away from it, but go from there. And then my defense was there to pick me up, and they got a turnover on
They
downs.
definitely
Literally 4 plays
Kenny Moore snapped
later.
in the red area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, shout out to the defense, man. They showed love, man, and they stood tall for me. So I definitely appreciate it. I was one of the first people out there dapping them all up. So shout out to them.
All right. So the Steelers forced 3 first half turnovers, 6 total for the Colts. Was it? I mean, I didn't get to watch the second half fully, just because we were having practice and everything. But was it just off day, lack of execution? Or was their defense really that good? What was
No, yeah.
what was it?
Nah, definitely can give credit to their defense. I mean, they played a good game, but of course, we can clean up some things. Like I got some things I can clean up, and then just as a group, we can clean up some things. So we know that wasn't our best football, but at the end of the day, like things like that happen in the league. There's always a game like that every year for everybody. You're not gonna play 17 straight great games. Like it's statistically probably not possible. So. I mean, at the end of the day, like it's you want to win every game, and trust me, that film we gonna get back right. So it happens, but they played a good
That's
game, and we didn't play our best game.
for sure. So I don't know anything about the grass in Pittsburgh, but was that a factor with anything
Uh,
during the game?
their grass definitely a little soft, a little sandy, but no excuse about that. I mean, it's not the best track, but it's good enough to play good football on. So I'll say that it wasn't that much of a factor.
Okay. So we already talked about it a little bit when I heard when I seen that you scored and I watched the play not during the meeting, right before the meeting started. But third straight game with a touchdown, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, nah, just definitely excited to score again. I mean, want to keep stacking touchdowns as a player, you love scoring touchdowns. That's fun. So we didn't win the game, so that's ultimately not the best outcome. But it was cool to score again, and very grateful to God that I'm able to get in the end zone and keep playing this game I love, stay healthy, and that's what you can be most excited for. That you're out there playing a game you love, playing a child's game, and that you're able to do it at a high level. So.
All right. So y'all kept fighting throughout the whole game, even through all the adversity that y'all faced. Defense came up with a huge stop and got a turnover after you scored. The final score ended up being 27-20. What does that fight say about your team, and how does that make the coaches feel that y'all can come back and make a big run when it's needed?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we didn't just lay down and kind of just be like, game's over, we're just gonna throw it in. Nah, we actually went out there and just kept fighting. And I mean, if we recover that onside kick at the end of the game, we could throw a Hail Mary and still have a chance to tie the game and go to OT. So it's like the fact that we fought back that hard shows just the character of the team and how we're not like coach be saying we're a team of substance, and it shows that we still got fight in us. We got heart. We're not just front runners in a sense. We're definitely. I mean, last 2 years we've been. I mean, my first 2 years, 9-8 and 8-9. Like we weren't like a top team in the league. So at the end of the day, we're used to just being in dogfights, and we still got that. We still got that mentality to just go after it and compete each and every game. And I think that showed that we have heart. So I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Okay. So next game is a trip back to Germany for you, facing the Falcons, and they have upgraded their defense this year. So what do you know about them? What have you seen so far from the film?
I mean, I haven't. I mean, it's early in the week, but I know they got a really good defense, and they've been talking about that all year. They got a good secondary. It'll be fun. I mean, they beat the Bills. They beat some other teams. I think they just lost 2 in a row, but I mean that's gonna add fuel to the fire for them because now that like
Mm-hmm.
this is a must win for them. It's a must win for us too, though. So it'll be a fun game. The Germany turf will probably be awful because they play soccer over there, so they have a different kind of their grass and our grass aren't the same. Like they have lower, thinner grass, more slick, so the ball
Oh,
can
shoot.
slide. So it'll be different, but it'll be fun. Their defense is good. They got some weapons on offense. So I mean, again, we got another hard fought game coming our way this weekend, and we get to do it in Berlin. Imagine the
Berlin,
game
man.
of football taking you all the way to Berlin, Germany to play in front of
Mm.
people. So very excited for that. Obviously, the travel is not fun. It's like a 9-hour flight, but other than that, excited for it.
So go into that a little bit more. I mean, fans want to know what are these travel arrangements that go on, and how does everything work?
I mean, it's just a little different. I mean, they're like 6 hours ahead, maybe, or something like that. So it might be more than that. It's 6 or 7. 6, 7. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, they're a little
Oh,
bit
you're
ahead.
fine.
They're a little bit ahead, but I mean, you gotta adjust. They got a whole plan for us. Our nutritionists and our travel people, they have a whole lot of stuff they talk about, and basically, like we fly over there Thursday. We fly over there after practice on Thursday, but we're landing there Friday morning there. So we're gonna land there at like 10:30, and we leave here at like 6 p.m. And basically, like our sleep is the plane ride over there, and then from there you gotta warm up, and I mean you gotta walk through, blah blah blah. But it's just adjusting to the sleep schedule, like when there's curfew and stuff, you might not fall asleep right away, but you got to do your best you can to fall asleep and turn the lights off and do all that, and then really just I feel like long flights like that to avoid jet lag, you just got to get your body moving. Like for me, I got to do a little extra like movement, not just walk through, but I got to run and jump and get my joints going because do got a game to play, and then from there it's take the field.
For sure. So I know you was there. I don't know when that year was, but what was the food like there? I mean, I've never been to Germany or anything like that. So what was the food
Yeah,
like? What was the
a
experience
lot
like
of
last time you were there?
yeah, a lot of people on the team didn't like the food, but I went to a nice restaurant. I forgot the name of it. I really did forget the name of it, but it was really good food. I forgot the name, but man, and I don't know if this is a Europe thing or just a Germany thing, but their dinners are like shows. So like you know how in America if we order food and it don't come to the table for like 20, 30 minutes, we start going like,
Yeah, we
yo,
definitely have an issue.
what's up? Like what's up with this food? I ordered food over there and it took like an hour and 30 minutes for the food to get to the table. But like nobody it was everybody in the restaurant like that. But I guess people they're like that's kind of normal for them. So I'm sitting there like,
Nah,
yo,
they would have had
like
me on. I would
I'm
have
sitting
been
there
out.
like
I would have been out.
waiter don't even speak English for real. So I'm having to like Google translate it like, where's the food? But he's like confused because he's like, what you mean? Like when it's being cooked, like they're like that, but like I'm over there, it's a little different. But it was good food though. They took their time.
Okay.
They had some lady walking around singing. So mom and dad gonna be over there. I'm a try. I don't know anybody from Berlin, so I won't. I need to find some good restaurants out there to book
Yeah,
a dinner out there with mom and dad and get some food.
for sure. For sure.
Bro to bro, this week we just talking faith, talking Bible. All right, for my verse of the week, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Do not fear first. that's not even a self-reliance of do not fear. That's more of a fear of trusting in God and knowing that everything is working out to the good. So don't be anxious, don't be discouraged. Know that everything's gonna be all right. And then power, love, self-control, the same spirit that was in Jesus is in us. So if you have any temptations you think you can't fight, just know that you got that self-control. And then whenever you feel like your heart might not be postured in the right direction, you got love deep down in you that's really there. And then power, might, strength, God's given it to you, so take it. So 2 Timothy 1:7, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
Okay. I got 2 Corinthians. If you go through 10 and 11, Paul's trying to talk about boasting and people boasting about whatever. So I'm going 2 Corinthians 11, verse 30. If boasting is necessary, I will boast about my weakness. The God and the Father of the Lord Jesus, who is blessed forever, knows I am not lying. So earlier in the text, it kind of talks about the fact that if we're going to boast in anything, we are going to boast in our weakness because the Lord is our strength and our weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fact to knowing that in my weakness, that's where he is. And that's the biggest impact that he makes in my life. If I'm strong and I'm trying to rely on myself, I'm not really relying on the Lord. And relying on the Lord is where our strength comes from. So that's what that meant for me, and was reading that last week and kind of stuck in my heart. So.
Yeah, that verse right there is similar to 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So right there.
Grace is sufficient for you right there.
You feel me?
Yeah. I feel
Just
it.
know, yeah, for when you are weak, he is strong. That's when you can really boast and know that, yeah.
My grace is sufficient for you, and my power is perfected in your weakness.
Yeah.
That's powerful right there.
All right, man. Just a little knowledge right there. Appreciate y'all again liking and subscribing to Downs to Business. We appreciate y'all for watching this show and watching all the other ones. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So I know it's a minute, but we're going to be back. Stay patient.
Man.
We love y'all and appreciate y'all. See you.